Hello and welcome everyone. Prepare to witness the brand new Tier 10 German battleship in action. The Schlieffen comes armed with 8 420mm main battery guns in 4 twin-mounted turrets, 40 secondary battery guns ranging from 105 to 150mm with a max firing range of 12.5 kilometers. 4 X4 torpedo launchers with 13.5 kilometers in range. Schlieffen is still officially a test ship, but has come out of NDA, so it's very important to know there will be one final change made to the Schlieffen before release. The main battery base reload speed will be decreased from 28 to 27 seconds, so essentially buffed. But for everything else, it's a case of what you see is what you get. The Schlieffen is a ton of fun with a full secondary build, as you are about to witness. So sit back and enjoy the show. So he does have the ZF6 here. So he has spotting, he's got radar support, dawn sky. And let's see what happens. Unlike Carbine, he's playing with the full deck. I resent this. I will admit, Sarah is a far better Battleship player than I will ever be, but he's had plenty of practice. But he's a very good Battleship player. I've seen him play BBs before. I have posted some of his games to YouTube before. I think the most recent one was in his Repu, the Republique. We got a Fletcher coming in. He's already in secondary range. There is a Pommer in there, a Riga. These secondaries are already letting rip. With the skill buff, the accuracy starts kicking in once you've been targeting a specific target for long enough. But you're going to see an incredible amount of secondary hits in this game. Pommern is trying to push up the flank. There's a Fletcher, a Riga here. Fletcher has smoked up. Pretty sure there's going to be torpedoes coming any moment. Sure enough, Fletcher torps appear. Donskoi has taken up a position here on the corner. ZF6 is out there behind the island. He's a little bit vulnerable there. He is radared by the Riga. The Schlieffen, it comes with 2 X4 launchers on either side with 13.5 kilometers in range. These torps are really great for torping smokes, area of denial. And you'd be surprised how many of these torps you can actually land in a game. Pommern is pushing up hard. He's getting very close to radar range as well.
Radar range? You mean secondary range or
range? Or secondary range, I mean, yes, of course. Secondary range. There they start opening fire. And of course, the random ramming from a Lepanto. I'm not quite sure what the Lepanto is doing. Look where his back turret is aiming. Quite sure what's going on there. ZF6 gets blapped by the Pommern. He was way too close. He was in the Pommern's hydro range. There's an A-gear virtually stationary. Secondaries swapped to the A-gear. Main battery, both fore and aft end guns fired. 4 overpens, 1 pen, but the secondaries are ripping this A-gear. We're going to shortly see the Gunther Lutschen's captain kick in. There we go. Reload buff to the secondaries. they become even more lethal. You almost felt bad for that A gear. I mean, you don't sit still like that. I mean, he's asking to get absolutely murdered. Now, he's still got the secondaries focused on the A gear, but of course they're firing at the Pommern as well, so you see the amount of hits that are racking up. It's just insane. And look at that rain of steel falling on that A gear. It's just got shredded. More torps coming up here. Just ever so slightly reversing. Got the focus now on. Just takes the one torp. Secondary's now fully focused on the Pommern. He's pretty well angled, so the Pommern has major issues applying damage with his main battery. And you can see those secondary hits. The counter there on the right hand side of the screen. It's having trouble keeping up. Pommern's on fire. Going to go down momentarily. Friendly team has lost a couple of ships. Buffalo has gone down. Nustrashimi has gone down. Down goes the Pommern. Up to 119,000 damage. 474 secondary hits already. 474. Which is pretty savage. Considering, look at the match timer. 13 minutes and 20 seconds plus and counting. So we haven't even played 7 minutes. We're already up over 470 secondary hits. Shots out on the Fletcher. The secondaries are firing at the Fletcher. It's a secondary hit. But there's a Riga in the cap. There is a the Donskoy's on the corner. He's keeping those radared. Fletcher is running away. He's stern towards the Donskoy. It looks like the Riga is poking his bow out. Try and get shots on that Donskoy. Donskoy is repairing at the moment. Again, the secondaries briefly fire at the Fletcher, who was detected for a second. Fletcher torps out the Donskoy. The Riga is approaching around the opposite side of the island. Because at this moment I'm thinking, why is Sarah not going for the capture point? And then I'm thinking, okay, he's going to go around the south side of the island and try and intercept the Fletcher. But now you can see the B cap is being capped. So he knows the Fletcher is not actually heading south. But he's in the center cap, he's in the B cap. So he turns in to start capping this one himself. Pretty healthy Conqueror there on the far side. Yamato is still pretty healthy, both over 60k. There is a Kremlin there in the spawn. Midway is on the opposite side. The game's is quite finely balanced at the moment. They do control the opposite cap, the C cap. The Fletcher is in the center. Sarah is in the process of capping the A cap. 75 points between the teams. Fletcher has actually smoked up. Riga is being attacked by the carrier. You have very good German hydro on the Schlieffen. You can detect ships at 6 kilometers. So that smoke screen is not going to serve the Fletcher much longer if he stays there. Takes the cap. Riga is in a very vulnerable spot. Pops his hydro. Fletcher's detected. Fletcher is in a really... You do not want to be in front of a Schlieffen with these secondaries. You've got 2 gun calibers. The minimum pen on the smaller gun caliber is 26mm. There's 38mm pen on the larger gun caliber. He just keeps his secondaries on the Riga. The Riga is doomed. He doesn't even have to bother firing his main battery. Riga is just simply doomed with these secondaries. Riga's on fire. Stationary Conqueror in the distance. 16 kilometers. This is where the dispersion gods say, no, not today. Not today. This is the downside of having a secondary build, of course. You lose some main battery accuracy. Midway is detected. He's also in secondary range. So now we're pushing into a target-rich environment. We've got a Midway, a Conqueror, a Kremlin, and a Yamato. And you're going to see these secondaries tick up really, really quickly. So, normally a Schlieffen, this is hyper-aggressive. We've got broadside battleships left and right. We have a carrier camped over there behind the island. Gets a citadel there on the Yamato. The Kremlin is a prime target for torpedoes. So secondary hits are racking up really, really quickly. I was kind of wondering what he even put down a second spread of torps to make sure. Carrier comes in with dive or torpedo bombers. He does take a big hit from the Kremlin. 20k damage virtually. Takes out the Kremlin with the torps. Does eat a couple of torps from the Midway. Shots out on that Yamato again. Double Citadel takes out the Yamato. Secondaries are on the Midway. Shots on the Conqueror. When I'm thinking this, there's no way he can survive this. Absolutely no way. Takes out the Midway with the secondaries. But the Midway comes back with the dive bombers. This is making my palms sweat. Really fun game. And you see, those secondaries, they tick over 1,000 secondary hits. 293k damage. Unofficial Kraken, because the ship technically is still a test ship. It still is. But you see the potential of this ship. I think a lot of people are going to have a lot of fun with this ship. So 1,015 secondary hits. I'd like to thank you once again all for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more. Take a moment to check out some of my most recent videos and leave a comment below. And until the next time, keep sailing it like you stole it.